So today I want to talk about why it feels like you play better in training than you do in matches. Now I've talked to so many guys about this, and they all say the same thing. Most of them say, "Oh yeah, I can't really replicate my training form into the matches. I don't know why." Like, and even me, I've been having this problem since I was a kid. I was always like, "Oh, if only I could play as well in the matches as I do in training." And you probably feel the same way. You probably feel, "Oh, in training I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Everything's going right for me. I'm taking on people. I'm confident. I'm passing. All my passes are getting to where they need to get to. My shooting is on point." But in the matches, yeah, I can have good games in matches, but it's just not the same. It's not at the same level as it is in the training. So today I'm gonna be telling you why this is, and little ways of how you could close that gap from where you train, the level you train at, and the level you playing in matches. So to be honest, the reason for this isn't really rocket science. There's really only one main purpose of why you don't really play as well in matches as you do in training, and that's literally just because you're feeling the pressure. Literally, the pressure just feels different on a match day because there's so many like external factors and things that you can't that are different in the matches than in the training. So the pressure, it makes you sort of overthink your passes, sort of hesitate, and you just struggle to sort of like turn your brain off and just play off instinct basically. In training, you're probably trying that skill move, doing taking that risk, playing that pass where you might lose the ball, you might not. But in the matches, it's more like, oh, you're overthinking, you're hesitating, you're like, oh, I don't want to play that pass just in case I mess up, in case I give the ball away. And yeah, you just struggle to just play off instinct, just turn your brain off and just say, all right, let me just play my game, let me just play my game. Because obviously there's a lot of factors involved as well. So you got there might be like a crowd watching. Let's say it's a cup final, it's a cup semi-final, or it's just a normal league game and there's a big crowd watching. Obviously that's gonna put pressure on you. That's gonna you're gonna feel the eyes on you, and you're gonna be like, oh, I can't mess up here. I can't make mistakes. I can't do this. I can't do that. And also you got your coaches watching you as well in the match, and you're thinking in your head, oh, if I mess up too many times, he's gonna take me off early. If I have a terrible first half, he's gonna take me off at half time, and everyone's gonna look at me like, oh, this guy, like, what's he doing? What's he doing? As well as that, you got your teammates. You don't want to let down your teammates. Let's say, for example, you give away a pass, or you're at the back and you're taking too many touches, you give away a goal. Now your teammates are just on to you, all complaining at you, saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? And yeah, it's just a long day basically. So yeah, these are all like the external factors that you don't have to deal with on a training day. On a training day, if you make a mistake, it's like, whatever, man, it's just training. But in matches, you kind of feel like, oh, I have to get everything right. Everything has to be perfect. And because you think like this, you start overthinking. You start not wanting to take risks. You start, let's say you're centre mid, you start not wanting to play the ball forward. You want to play sideways and backwards just to be safe because you're scared of sort of losing the ball. If you're a winger in training, you're constantly taking on your man. You get the ball and you're direct. But in the matches, you're like, oh, I don't wanna mess up. I don't wanna lose the ball. So you just end up getting the ball and just playing it sideways instead of being direct and taking on that man, which could literally lead to a chance being created, a goal being scored for your team. Because you feel the pressure, because you don't want to mess up, you're like, oh, nah, let me just play backwards, let me just play sideways, which ultimately is only hurting your game. So I'm gonna teach you ways of how you can sort of get used to the pressure. Like in training, try replicate the pressure as much as possible. Because obviously you can never replicate that match pressure. Like, it's just impossible. It's never going to be the same in training as it is in matches. But I'm going to teach you ways that you can sort of increase the pressure in training, sort of get you used to playing under pressure, getting you used to let's say if you make mistakes in training, that there's sort of like consequences to your mistakes, so you can really learn how to deal with that pressure. Now, the first solution is literally just mental. You literally just have to catch yourself in those negative moments. When those negative thoughts come to you, you have to catch yourself and be like, nah, 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 forget that. Like, you have to keep telling yourself, yo, just play your game, be aggressive, just play your game. Because regardless, anyway, you need to understand, in the matches you're gonna make mistakes anyway. So you might as well just go out and play your game and sort of start to expect to make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes anyway. So when you're making mistakes, you might as well be aggressive and play your game and then make mistakes rather than be hesitant and timid, and then you come off the pitch feeling, that's not even how I play. Normally I'm aggressive, normally I'm this. So you're gonna make mistakes anyway. So you might as well make mistakes while you're being aggressive, while you're playing your natural game, while you're basically while you're just trying to show your best self, trying to help your team win. You might as well make mistakes while you're playing your natural game, rather than coming off, like I said, rather than playing timid, being hesitant, which is going to lead to mistakes as well at the end of the day. When you're hesitant, you're timid, you're overthinking, then you're coming off the pitch thinking, oh, it's the worst feeling when you come off the pitch thinking, I could have done more. I wasn't myself today. That's the worst feeling. So, like I said, when you have a negative doubt, when you're like, oh, I misplaced that pass. Oh no, I can't do it again. What's it called? I tried to take on my fullback and it didn't work. Or you're sending mid and you got caught on the ball. When you start feeling those negative thoughts coming in, once you start feeling yourself losing confidence, just snap back and just tell yourself, yo, just play your game. Just play your game. Mistakes are gonna happen throughout the game. Just carry on as normal. Just play your normal game and just be aggressive. That's my advice. That's the main thing I want to say. Just be aggressive. Don't be timid. Don't be hesitant. Don't hesitate on anything. If you want to play that pass, play that pass. If you want to shoot on goal, shoot. If you want to go in for that tackle, go in for that tackle. Even if you might mistime it, you might misplace the pass, you might sky the shot in row Z. But just that's my advice. Just don't be timid. Literally, if you want to do something, just do it. Literally, just play off instinct. Don't just turn your brain off. Don't think. Don't think about it. Don't be scared of making mistakes, because like I said, it's gonna happen anyway. Whether you play timid, whether you play timid or hesitant, you're gonna make mistakes. Whether you be aggressive and you're playing a normal game, you're gonna make mistakes. So you might as well choose to be aggressive and show your best self. So yeah. Now my next piece of advice to sort of help you deal with pressure, sort of help you get used to playing sort of under a certain type of pressure every time you play, every time you train, is basically just, whether at your team training sessions or just like training sessions with your boys, literally just get someone to bring a tripod and record the training sessions. And then after, you post the clips on wherever you want to post the clips, YouTube, Snap, Instagram, wherever. Literally, just by doing this, everyone at the training now is gonna lock in, because nobody wants to look like the weakest link. Nobody wants to be the guy who's in the rondo for bare time, who's in the middle of the rondo for bare time. Nobody wants to be the guy who gets nutmegged or who gets bullied off the ball or whose team loses the small-sided games. So yeah, if you've ever been at a training session where there's a camera, you know what I'm talking about. The atmosphere is just different. Like, you look around and sort of now everyone's more up for it. It gets more competitive, which is a good thing, because obviously it replicates the match situation more or less. Because when there's no camera, it's sort of like everyone's sort of playing at like 70-75%. No one's really going as hard as they would in a match. But as soon as that camera turns on, trust me, I've seen it. I've literally I go to some sessions on Thursdays where there are two pitches. There's a pitch on the far side and a pitch on the near side. The pitch on the near side has the camera, and the pitch on the far side doesn't. And if you see the difference in both games, it's crazy. The pitch on the near side with the camera, everything's intense. Everyone's going in for those tackles. Everyone's trying to do their best. No one's trying to make themselves look like a fool on camera. Everyone's just playing hard. Everyone's literally trying. Then you look at the match on the far side, and you see people walking, you see people not getting back. It's not really that it's still intense, but it's not as intense as the match with the, what's it called, with the camera on it. So trust me, even if you've been with your boys and one of your boys brings a tripod, he brings a camera and he's recording the training, trust me, the training gets intense. Normally, you just, like, I remember there was one time I just came for like a kickabout. I was just thinking, yeah, let me just take it lightly. And then we got into like a keep ball possession. It was like a 7v7 keep ball. And then obviously the first part of the keep ball, I was just taking my time, playing it simple, doing normal stuff. I wasn't trying to do too much. Then as soon as my boy brought out the camera, I don't know, something flipped in the session. Now everyone was in for tackles. Everyone was being aggressive. People were dribbling with the ball. People just started trying way harder, because obviously, like I said, nobody wants to look like a fool on camera, especially when your boy's gonna post the clips on his story on either Insta, Snap, like I said, maybe on YouTube as well. So yeah, that's my next point. Literally, just try record all your training sessions, whether it's team training sessions, individual training sessions, and training sessions you have with your friends, basically. Because even individual training sessions, actually, if you let's say you're doing a shooting drill, you literally put the camera behind you, you're still gonna feel like a bit of pressure, mainly not to, you know what I'm saying, not to miss, but also you wanna get good clips, like you want to get your good shots on camera. So obviously that puts a certain level of pressure on you to be like, all right, cool, let me really lock in, let me try aim for the top bins, let me try, yeah, just like I said, basically just get clips, just get good goals on camera for yourself. So yeah, literally just get a tripod. If no one has a tripod, you be the guy to get a tripod and just say, yo, we're recording our small sided games, we're recording our little one-to-one training sessions. Maybe it's just you and your other boy. Record your training session, record your small sided games, even your team training sessions. Just ask your coach if you can record it. I don't think he probably won't say no. Like, it's not, the camera's not hurting anyone, to be honest. So you might as well ask him. He's probably gonna say yes. So yeah, that's probably the best way to sort of get you used to playing under a certain level of pressure in training, so you can handle it better in the matches. And then the last point is literally just to try and make everything a challenge, and also add forfeits in your training. So for example, let's just say it's just you and your friend, you're just doing like, it's just you and him training. Let's say you're doing a shooting drill. Make the shooting drill a challenge. Let's just make it seem like, whoever gets the most shots, whoever scores the most goals from this shooting drill, the other person has to run 2 laps of the pitch. Literally little things like that. Just little things, just adding consequences, just making sure that, so you have that added pressure now. You have that added pressure of, okay, I don't want to run 2 laps. I can't be asked to run 2 laps. So I have to, what's it called? I have to make sure my shooting's on point, everything's on point. Because obviously you don't want to run them 2 laps. This is why you see certain people, let's say you're doing two touch and then whoever drops it gets ear flicks, or whoever, just little things like that. Just increases the pressure, just gets you used to, what's it called? Just getting used to playing under pressure, just knowing that your mistakes have consequences, basically, just like in matches where if you give the ball away, or if you're having a dead game, the coach is going to take you off. Replicate that in training. If you mess up in the two touch, you get ear flicks, or you have to run laps of the pitch. If you lose a passing challenge, or if you lose a shooting challenge, you know what I'm saying, runs around the pitch, push ups, burpees, like just little things like that, just to keep everything a challenge, just to keep you used to, constantly just performing under pressure, being able to bring out your best when you're competing, when you're challenging other people, when you're under pressure. So yeah, that's the last point, basically. Just in every single training session, just add little challenges, add forfeits, add consequences, so you're used to, playing under pressure, so it can help you lock in, because okay, if I don't do this, if I lose this challenge, if I lose this, then there's consequences that I don't want to do. I don't want to run laps of the pitch. So that's it. So yeah, in conclusion, you probably will never be able to play at the level you do in training compared to the matches, simply because it's impossible to sort of recreate that pressure. That pressure sort of, I don't know, it sort of just has this force around you where you never feel like you can play 100%. Even when you feel like you had good games, you feel like, my good games in training are still better than my good games in matches, type of thing. And that's simply just because of the pressure, which is normal, because there might be trophies on the line, lots of people watching, maybe you're a place where there's scouts watching. So you're probably never gonna be able to fully play like you do in training in matches. But the best you can do is just get yourself used to playing under pressure in training, just getting used to just, yeah, basically just dealing with the pressure better. So yeah, so you can strive towards, like I said, you're probably never gonna match your training performances, but you can get as close to them as possible. So yeah, I hope this advice works for you. I've been JT, and I'm out.